Yeah, the house would have been right in this area around here somewhere.
It's a pretty spot here on the shores of Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
I can see why a ghost would want to haunt this area.
It is beautiful, but what happened here in 1775 wasn't pretty at all. It was horrific, and maybe that's why the area is haunted.
Well, they say hauntings come from unfinished business, or a ghost is, looking for something.
And that's exactly the case here, Ray. The story goes this ghost is looking for his lost leg. Hi, I'm Jeff Belanger, and welcome to episode 109 of the New England Legends podcast. If you give us about 10 minutes, we'll give you something strange to talk about today.
And I'm Ray Auger.
Ray.
Hi there, Jeff. Thanks for joining us on our mission to chronicle every legend in New England, one week in, one story at a time. And, we just couldn't do it without the help and support of our Patreon patrons. This is a grassroots show.
Yeah, it is.
And these are the people who help pay for the hosting costs, production costs, and promotion so we can bring you a new story every week. If you want to become a bigger part of the movement, head over to patreon.com/New England Legends. And for just $3 per month, you'll get early access to new episodes, plus bonus episodes that no one else gets to hear.
Also, if you go to our website at ournewenglandlegends.com, not only will you find our entire show archive, plus photos and video clips, but you'll also see a link to the just-released 2020 Haunted New England wall calendar featuring my stories and the eerie photography of Frank Grace.
I've seen it. It's beautiful.
It's amazing, and these are limited edition, just like last year. So once they're gone, they're gone. Plus, if you act now, we'll throw in an extra day for 2020.
And I'm sure that has nothing to do with the fact that 2020 is a leap year, Jeff.
It might have something to do with that. Okay.
All right, got it. Okay, Jeff, we're looking for a ghost who lost his leg?
That's right.
Lost his leg while he was alive, or lost his ghost leg?
Yeah, I can see how that would be kind of confusing. So let's head back to October of 1775, back when Portland was known as Falmouth, and see if we can figure this out.
It's October 8th, 1775, and a British naval squadron of 4 ships just set sail heading north from Boston Harbor. The Conso is the lead ship, and Lieutenant Henry Mowat is in command. The thing is, this is a British revenge mission. Some colonial towns are getting unruly. There's talk of revolution, and the British won't have it. So Lieutenant Mowat and his crew are hellbent on retribution.
The British have identified 10 towns as potential targets, and all the targets are along the coast north of Boston. But one of the primary targets is a town called Machias. A few months ago, some rebels in Machias seized 2 British vessels, killing the commander of one of the vessels and imprisoning the commander of the other. Admiral Samuel Graves gave Mowat clear orders to hit as many of those towns as he can, but Machias should really be on the list.
Lieutenant Mowat was given full discretion as to the targets, and Mowat didn't have to think about it very long. Machias can wait. His first target would be Falmouth.
Now, there's something you should know about Lieutenant Mowat and Falmouth.
Okay, what's that?
There's some history between the two.
Ooh, do tell.
So about 5 months ago, Lieutenant Mowat was enjoying some shore time in Falmouth when a local militia group seized him and threw him in jail.
What was his crime?
Being a British officer, for one, and possibly spying on colonial rebels.
I see. These are troubled times.
They are. Still, Falmouth leaders didn't think it was right to arrest Mowat, so they came to his aid and secured his release right away. Their only condition was that he would return to Falmouth the following day to kind of sort everything out with the militia. Lieutenant Mowat gave his word that he would indeed return the following day. The sun rose, and the leaders of Falmouth waited. But then they soon learned that last night Lieutenant Mowat boarded his ship and pushed off for Boston in the south.
I'm guessing this little arrest really upset him?
It did. Mowat stewed over the event for months, and now, leading a squadron of British ships, he's itching to take out his anger on Falmouth. After all, it is on the list of targets.
October 16th arrives to find Mowat's 4 ships sailing into Falmouth Harbor. But sitting in their way is a small schooner that refuses to move along. It's blocking their entrance to the harbor. Mowat doesn't hesitate. In a flash, he destroys the schooner and alerts the people of Falmouth that these British warships mean business.
Everyone in town is in furious agitation. They're securing the farm animals. Others are taking up arms to try and intimidate local British loyalists. Meanwhile, the 4 British warships are dropping anchor just offshore in Falmouth Harbor. The Reverend Jacob Bailey witnesses the whole thing.
The whole fleet stood directly up the river in form in line of battle before the town. We now plainly discovered one ship of 20 guns, one of 16, a large schooner of 14, a bomb sloop, and 2 other armed vessels.
As you can imagine, the leaders of Falmouth are confused. They know Lieutenant Mowat is in command, and they also recall getting him out of jail just 5 months ago. Maybe he's coming to make some kind of peace offering?
No, look over there. A British officer is coming ashore to deliver a message. Reverend Bailey is listening.
The officer landed at the lower end of King Street, amid a prodigious assembly of people, which curiosity and expectation had drawn together from every quarter. Some of the multitude appeared in arms, who united with the rest to convey the officer with uncommon parade and ceremony along the street to the townhouse. His entrance was immediately followed by a confused mixture which filled the apartment with noise and tumult.
The officer emerges from the townhouse, and he reads a proclamation.
After so many premeditated attacks on the legal prerogatives of the best of the sovereigns, after the repeated instance of Britain's long forbearance of the rod of correction, and the merciful and parental extension of her hand to embrace you, again and again, have been regarded as vain and nugatory, and in place of dutiful and grateful return to your king and parent state, you have been guilty of the most unpardonable rebellion, having in orders to execute a just punishment on the town of Falmouth. I warn you to remove without delay the human species out of said town, for which purpose I give you the time of 2 hours.
Oh man, 2 hours to clear out? The news sends everyone in town into a panic.
Lieutenant Mowat agrees to delay his assault to the following morning if Falmouth turns over its weapons. They gather up some rifles and a few other weapons as a goodwill gesture, but Mowat sees through it.
Yeah.
Still, he offers to delay the attack until 9 a.m. the following morning. If Falmouth turns over its cannons and muskets, plus provides some hostages, he'll agree to delay the assault until the admiral can make a decision.
It's a rough night in Falmouth. Militias arrive from neighboring towns because they're looking for a fight. Many people spend the evening trying to save whatever possessions they can move out of their homes. By morning, there's nothing but confusion and chaos in the town. Reverend Bailey delivers a message to Mowat.
We're astonished to find that no part of the inhabitants have assembled in the morning to turn over their muskets. The whole town is in great confusion, with many women and men still remaining.
Lieutenant Mowat allows the 9 a.m. deadline to pass, giving the stragglers time to get out of harm's way. But at 9:40 a.m., he lets loose on the town.
The cannon began to roar with incessant and tremendous fury. In a few minutes, the whole town was involved in smoke and combustion. About 1,000 men in arms attended this scene of devastation, besides a prodigious number of both sexes, without attempting any repulsion. The bombardment continued from 9:30 until 9 till sunset, during which all the lower end and middle of the town was reduced to a heap of rubbish. In a word, about 3/4 of the town was consumed, and between 200 and 300 families, who, 24 hours before, enjoyed in tranquility their commodious habitations, were now in many instances destitute of a hut for themselves and families. And as a tedious winter was approaching, they had before them a most gloomy and distressing prospect.
The town had no cannons ready to defend themselves, and though they had men willing to fight, there's not much they can do from the shore when British cannons are raining fire down from above.
When the bombardment ends, Lieutenant Mowat sends some boats to shore to survey the damage. It's a miracle no one was killed in the all-day attack. The British soldiers find a smoldering ruin of a town.
One British soldier, a man named Henry Reed, is shaking his head as he wanders among the smoke and ashes. But then suddenly, some local militiamen hiding in the rubble open fire. Reed takes a bullet in the leg. The other British officers manage to scare off the attackers, who seem content with firing off a few shots and then running for it. But Reed's leg, it's bad. A gaping hole is oozing blood. The ship's surgeon decides to amputate right on the spot in order to save the soldier's life. The leg is removed and tossed into a shallow hole by the water's edge. Reed is going to survive.
Henry Reed is carried back to his ship and is fitted with a wooden leg. He's fortunate to make his way home to England.
Meanwhile, Falmouth rebuilds. Houses are built along the shore, town offices are rebuilt, and under the new name of Portland, this town will go on to become Maine's first capital city.
And right here, where we're standing, a house was built. A house that never had any kind of paranormal problems. Not until years later, when way over in England, Henry Reed passes away from old age. That's when the trouble starts.
Folks in town spot a strange, hobbling apparition walking around this house and somehow right through it. And the family inside, they're scared. They're clearly dealing with a haunting.
That's when some old-timers in town recall the raid on Falmouth back in 1775. They remembered the British soldier who lost his leg. It's one of those fuzzy town memories that suddenly comes into clear focus. The best everyone can figure, old Henry Reed must have made his way back across the Atlantic in search of his missing leg.
Those strange sounds continue. Windows and doors open by themselves, the ghost is ever present, and the family is at a loss for what to do until one old-timer suggests maybe Reed's leg is buried around here somewhere.
The desperate homeowners waste no time in taking a shovel to the dirt floor basement. And pretty soon, they uncover a small pile of bones. It's what's left of Reed's missing leg.
Suddenly, in the corner of the basement, a one-legged apparition forms. It's glowing slightly green. He slowly floats toward the bones. And that's when a ghostly leg floats up from the bones. The one-legged man and his severed limb reunite, and slowly, the spirit vanishes, never to be seen again. And that brings us back to today.
Wow, a ghost who crosses an ocean just to get his leg back.
That's what they say.
Losing a limb in a battle isn't something you'd forget.
No, and it seems Henry Reed may have carried a beef with Falmouth, now Portland, for the rest of his life.
Well, there's definitely a pattern. Lieutenant Mowat never liked this town either.
I can't say I blame them. I mean, Mowat was arrested here. Reed lost his leg. But still, I love the moral of this ghostly legend. The idea that there's no lengths a person won't go through to be made whole again.
Well, if you enjoy listening to these strange but true legends each week, your friends might as well.
Yeah.
Please consider sharing our episodes on your social media.
And if you don't already subscribe to us, do it because it's free. You can find us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Visit our website at ournewenglandlegends.com, where you can see our entire archive of shows, plus dates for Jeff's ongoing story tour.
And we'd like to thank Michael Legge and Carl Hutchinson for lending their voice acting talents this week.
Yeah, Carl's British accent was most convincing.
I hope so, because, he is British. Cheers, mate.
Our theme music is by John Judd.
Until next time, remember, the bizarre is closer than you think.